Everyone, welcome to the Mifratech. This is the PHP session 4. In last 3 sessions, we have discussed arrays, if many more the basics of the PHP. In this session, we will discuss how the file will work, file upload, file delete, and how to connection of a database for PHP for backend. Let's see in this session. PHP file handling. PHP file system allows us to create file, read file line by line, read file character by character, write file, append file, delete file, and close file. PHP open file, the fopen. This function is used to open a file. The syntax, resource, fopen, the string, file name, string mode, and boolean use include path, false, resource, context. Example, you can see a PHP handle is equals to fopen, and the file path and the file what is readable or writable, like we are given readable mode, the folder name csv file .txt, file close, fclose, the PHP fclose function is used to close an open file pointer. Syntax, OOL fclose, resource handle. Fclose is like a handle where if we write to open a file, after a function, it will close a file. The handle function is being used. PHP read file, fread. The PHP fread function is used to read the content of the file. It accepts the 2 argument, resource and the file size. String fread, resource, handle, int, length. For example, PHP file name is equals to where the file path is. We have to mention in C drive myfile.txt. Handle, fopen, the file has to be opened. File name, R, the open file in read mode. Contents, fread, handle, file size, file name. Like read file, here we are reading a file. Echo contents, printing data of a file. Once we have read a file, the read on file, the contents must be printed. Echo contents, because the variable name has been declared. Fclose, handle, the file will be closed. This is the example. And PHP write a file, fwrite. The PHP fwrite function is used to write the content of a string into a file. We can write anything, we can write a content in a file. Syntax, int, fwrite, resource, handle, string, $string, int, length. PHP, the variable name declared as a fopen, data.txt in a writable mode, wo. Fwrite, $fp, hello. Fwrite, fp, PHP file, it will be written as a hello and PHP file. Fclose, the file has been closed successfully. Now echo, file written successfully. If we have written content, it must be shown some output, like, or we can open a file by giving an fopen file open command, or the file open code to open a file to see a file. Here we have just writing in a file, so echo we have to display some output, file written successfully. Next, PHP delete file, unlink. The PHP unlink function is used to delete file. Syntax, bool, unlink, string, file name, resource, context. Example, PHP unlink data.txt, echo file deleted successfully. If we want to delete a file using a PHP command. Next, file upload. PHP allows you to upload a single and multiple files through a few lines of code only. PHP file upload features allow you to upload a binary and a text files both. Moreover, you can have the full control over the file to be uploaded to the PHP authentication and file operation functions. PHP $_files. The PHP global files contain all the information of file. By the helping of files global, we can get the file name, file type, file size and the temp file name and errors associated with the file. Here we are assuming the file name as a file name. Files, file name, name returns a file name. Files, file name type returns the MIME type of the file, which type, .txt or any, which is the type of the file. Then file name size returns size of the file in bytes, how many bytes it has been stored. File name TMP name returns temporary file name which has been stored in the server. File name error returns error code associated with this file. Next, PHP download file. PHP enables you to download file easily using a built-in read file function. The read file function reads a file with the writes it to an output buffer. Here we can see a syntax int read file string, file name, bool, use include path false, resource context, file name. We use 3 parameters here. File name, use include path and a context. File name represents it always represents the file name which we have been given. Use include path, it is the optional parameter, we can include or not, but it is set as a false. Context represents the context stream resource. Int, it returns the number of bytes read from the file. For example, you can see file URL, header, content type, application, header, and read file URL. Next, we are going to see a PHP mail function. PHP mail function is used to send a mail in a PHP. You can send a text message, HTML and attachment with a message using a PHP mail function. In many big major projects we can use to send a data, or you can send a mail. We can take examples of the many other projects, like we can send a report through a doctor project, we can send a mail. The report has been sent successfully. Syntax, you can see bool mail string to the subject, what the message has been written and what's the addition headers and what the addition parameters. And next to where the specifier where the receivers the mail has to receive, the extension .com, .in, many more, the user at example.com we have taken, and the subject represents the subject's mail, what you are attending for what. The message represents the message, the mail you send, just like a description what you are sending. The subject refers to the report, the message refers to a detailed report. And you can see an example. PHP init send mail from Sono Jaiswal to the main mail, and some of this is a subject, message is a simple text, from result mail to subject message header. If the result is true, if the mail has been sent successfully, the output will be printed as a message sent successful. Else the mail unable to send mail. Here now we are going to see a PHP MySQL. This is the major part where when you're creating a major database projects or major projects with the PHP, we will use it to code with the PHP MySQL to write a connection with the database by giving a MySQL like connect or PDO connect. If not written, it will give us an error, or we can connect with in many other ways also. We can see with the PHP MySQL connect extents is deprecated. Now it is recommended use two alternatives as previously told, MySQLi connect and PDO construct. PHP MySQLi connect. MySQLi connect function is used to connect with the MySQL database, because the database, when we enter in a data, like when we given a get and a post, when we created a form, the database want to be there. So the connect with the MySQL database, it returns a resource with the connection established or null. Syntax: resource MySQL connect, server username and password, which server you are connecting, and the name, username and password. PHP MySQL close if the to disconnect if the database, we use the PHP MySQL close. MySQLi close function is used to disconnect with the MySQL database. It returns true if the condition is closed or false. The simple code syntax: bool MySQLi resource link. The connection example, we will write in a PHP code only, .php extension. Host, local host, the server name and the user and the password, and established for the connection CONN is equals to MySQLi connect, host, username and password. For many things, username and password we can give, and we can mention user and password. If not connected, die, could not connect, MySQL error. It shows a fatal error, echo, or the connection has been successful. MySQL close, connect. To create a database, we can see MySQL query and PDO query. Create a database example. If you not created a database previously in your projects, or we can create a directly with executing in a PHP command, PHP code. Here you can see, first we want to connect in a MySQL database with the PHP. Next, here in last we are seeing to here echo connection, connect it successfully. Then SQL create database MyDB. If MySQL query connect SQL echo database MyDB created successfully, else the database not been, creation has been failed, and the close the connection. To create a query, to create a table, we can use an MySQL query or PDO query, both we can use. Create table example, if we want to create a table like a name, ID, employee ID, we can create. As usual, we want to first connect with the database to the MySQL and PHP. Then we have to create SQL create table, emp5 ID int auto increment, name varchar not null, employee salary int not null, primary key ID. If MySQL query connection table emp5 created successfully. Before creating a table, you won't be familiar with the SQL also, because the database will be created with the SQL commands, with the PHP commands. And let's close the connection. And just like a simple insert record, we can insert connecting to a database, and next SQL insert into emp4 name salary sono 9000. The record has been inserted. And updation of records we can modify through giving an SQL code update emp4 set name. Here we are using a salary where ID is equals to ID. The connection has been established, and if connection has been successful, record updated successful, or it will show an error, and the connection has been established. That same like a delete. If the record inserted, you want to delete a record, you can delete. And in this session we have seen how to file upload, how to file handling, file handle, fread, close, write, and how to delete, and how to similar of the file names, how to download a file, and a mail function. Mail function we can use in a similar ways to request a data or request a form to send it a mail. And MySQL, it is the major part of the PHP in a major projects. MySQL I connect, how to create a database, how to connect with the MySQL, etc. And thank you.